Well, the Lord be with you, and a very warm welcome to you from all of us here at Powerscourt with Kilbride. It's Good Friday. I'm forced inwards today, inside I should say, because it is a very wet day. The rain has not let up at all on this Good Friday, and in many ways it's quite fitting. You'll hear noise going on in the background. That's the printer springing into action because I'm printing off service sheets for our services tomorrow. We're starting off, would you believe, at 6 a.m. in the old graveyard that is in Powerscourt House and Gardens. As you drive up the avenue, opposite the golf course, there is an older gate into the original old graveyard there. And every year at dawn, we gather there, we light the Paschal candle from a fire, and we carry it, we process down the avenue to the church. And we have a small, short service of Holy Communion there. So and breakfast in the school, by the way. Thanks, Edwina. It's a wonderful start to Easter Sunday. A very busy day. Most recently, I heard about a God wink. Okay, so you know that I have these phrases like a divine download, these thoughts that fall into all of our heads at times out of the blue, but they could be a resolution to something we're worried about or something we have prayed about, or they could be simply guiding us down a particular pathway. And when we have the hindsight to look back, we can see that it was actually a really good thing. So they're the divine downloads we often talk about in this square. But I've heard a phrase used recently, a God wink. And I think that's a brilliant phrase. So this morning we gathered in St. Mary's Church to do the walk of the cross. We do it every year up the hill. We take it in turns. Sometimes we walk down the hill from St. Patrick's, our church, to St. Mary's. And this year it was an uphill walk in the lashings of rain. And there's a script of the Passion that's read. It starts in St. Mary's, then there's another little part of it with different people reading different parts. It takes place in the village, and then we have the final part in the receiving church. That was our church in this particular case. So today we sought refuge under the canopy in the front of the Schoolhouse for Art. It seemed like a practical dry place. We would only be there for a few minutes as we read another part of the script, and everybody gathered round, a little portable microphone, and the readers read their pieces very dutifully and very well. And as the story was being told, my eye caught an extra and possibly very unexpected listener to the story of the Passion of the Christ. And it came in the form of a little jackdaw who had also sought a little bit of shelter and was perched on one of the sculptures out the front of the Schoolhouse for Art. And as the Passion was being read and the parts were being read, I watched the little bird sitting, listening and watching intently. And then towards the very end of the reading of that part of the Passion, he started to mutter and chatter and join in as well. You know, some people might think I'm absolutely mad, but that to me is a God wink. I think if we have eyes that are open enough, we can see through nature, through messages and signs, that we are absolutely, most definitely not on our own. And that is the little, I suppose, at the heart of the small, short message that I wanted to give us today on this Resurrection Sunday. We are such tangible human beings. How many times have we admitted to that in this small square? We come to this earth as souls in human form. I once heard a priest call them souls in spacesuits, in our bodily form, to this amazing planet, full of the colours, the tastes, the senses. You know, we have this rather incredible experience. The whole gambit of human emotions, be they positive or negative, the joys, the sufferings and the sorrows. We have the whole experience in this world. And so it's really understandable that we can get ourselves so utterly caught up in the role that we are playing as people in this world that we forget that there is an equally same, if not bigger, world of the invisible that is around us. And it's that world that Jesus calls the kingdom of heaven, I would say. It's that world that he speaks about when he says, my Father's house has many rooms. And it's also that world he speaks about when he encourages us to pray, to speak to the unseen, and when he tells us that I will be with you even to the end of the age. Today, as we celebrate Resurrection Sunday, Easter Day, we are given an incredible reminder of that world of the invisible. And it hurts my heart sometimes to think there are so many people out there who are not entering our churches now because through the passing of generations, the Book of Common Prayer or the whole structure of, is there a word, religiosity? Religion anyway, is unknown to them, and they're a bit nervous about it as well. And yet, within humanity, there is such an increasing need for spirituality. There's such an increasing need of connection with the unseen. And this morning, that empty tomb, the stone that's rolled away, the angel that speaks to the women who come and says to them, why are you looking for the living among the dead? He has risen. This morning we are given a reminder that we should turn our attention to the unseen. Know within our hearts that we are not alone, that we have the Christ walking with us, that we have angelic assistance with us. I believe in that. Not everyone does, but I certainly do. And angels are most biblical, you will find. We have the kingdom of heaven walking with us in the person of the Christ. And I think that's something to really celebrate today. Let our prayer for this coming year, from Easter Sunday to Easter Sunday together, let our prayer be, Jesus, open us up, grow us in our knowledge, in our intuition, give us new eyes to be able to look around and to see the smallest details, and within them, the God winks, the divine downloads, all of the things that your heaven is saying to us in this earthly lifetime of ours. Help us to truly believe with renewed faith that we most certainly are not on our own in this world, but that you guide us, you lead us, you are there for us at the cold face of everything that we go through, and that you lead us safely home again to the source from which we all came, that divine source that we call God. May you have a very happy and blessed Easter.